Hello everyone, Powerglide17 here. Today with a video on the mods and retools that you can do to your Combine Wars Onslaught. Now, we're gonna start with the vehicle mode, then we're gonna go with the combiner mode, and then we'll end up with the robot mode where all the mods show. So first we have the vehicle mode. Now I'm going to show you a different configuration where you can make your vehicle mode look a lot better. Now you would probably need to buy the repro label set from toyhacks.com for Combiner Wars Bruticus for this. Because you're gonna need some stickers, or if you're good with paint you can use paint instead. Now what I've seen my friend Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer do was basically lift up the wings, rotate this whole section around just like that, which is a little bit of a pain to do if you don't take your time with it, and fold the wings back down. And basically you're gonna need something to make a windshield here. He suggested taking another hotspot and replacing the feet section with the same section that hotspot had for his feet. That would make it inaccurate to the G1 model of Onslaught. But to be completely honest, Hotspot does the same thing. He isn't actually model accurate in terms of the feet, so I don't see what would be the problem to do that. So, here we have basically the initial configuration. Now he also suggested bringing the cannons back and having them forward like that. He also replaced the hotspot guns with scattershot's cannons. Well, two scattershot cannons, because scattershot only comes with one. I don't know, I really don't like that. I mean, he did say, I don't see what would be the problem with this. After all, the Bruticus head isn't fooling anyone. We see that it's present in the vehicle mode. And I can attest to that. I mean, it's really visible head syndrome in any other mode for Bruticus. Well, except for the combine mode, because that would have to be visible now. I actually like the way this looks. I mean, it looks like a heavy artillery tank, a heavy truck. Yeah. It may not be the carrier that we had in G1, but this is still good. Now let's get into combine mode, and I'm gonna pause the video for that, just so you won't have to see me do a transformation on camera. Now here we have Onslaught in his torso mode for Bruticus. Now I've seen a few people do different things with it, but most notably I've seen my friend Camzilla51 take the hip and rotate around and extend it just a bit so the hip would look much slimmer, and it would also look much better. I mean, in my opinion at least. I don't know, I kind of don't like the flat and bulky leg. I much more prefer the thin and thick leg, so that works for me. Something else that he did was basically bring the arm down, rotate it up one click, and then bring the arm down and the forearm flush with the body, and bring this little cockpit down, and also fold the wing back. Now this gives it a better look, but the only problem that seems to be with this configuration is that when you plug in the combiner limb, it seems to stay on an angle, so I don't think that would look that good. I mean, it looks good, but I don't think it would be too good for posing. I mean, when you just want him to stand straight, because I think the arms would stay on an angle, and that wouldn't look too refreshing. I think it would look a little stiff. So something else that I've seen from my friend the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer is basically taking the arm, unpegging it, stretching it out, and then rotating it this way to fold up against the back, and then bring this section back up. Now this makes the shoulder slimmer, and it works the same way as it did before, only it allows a bit more articulation, which to me, I mean, it's practical, but it doesn't look as good as the other one. So you pretty much have to decide, you prefer aesthetic or practicality. Now, for the head, before we do that, as I mentioned in the vehicle mode, the Lazy Eyebrow reviewer also took the cannons and put the scattershot guns. Now for the head, my friend Camzilla51 has done something amazing with the head in terms of the color of the head. You can actually dip it in some sort of chemical that will remove the paint, and it would leave the head clean. And I think I'm gonna post the link in the description below so you can check his video out, because I would like to try that someday when I actually have all the components for Bruticus. Because right now I'm not really hurrying that much because I only have Onslaught, and that's pretty much it. So we'll have to go to the robot mode now. So I'm gonna stop the camera for a little bit. Now here we have combined Wars Onslaught in his robot mode, and I have to say, this robot mode is fantastic. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I think many of you, because you aren't too many so far, I grew up with Ruination as my first combiner, so the repaint of Onslaught, Mega Octane, has a special place in my heart. I would compare him with Onslaught right here, but he is combined into Ruination, and it would take a bit too much time and effort for that. And you're not really here to see Mega Octane now, are you? You're here to see me do some Onslaught retooling. Now, the first thing that people complained about Onslaught when they first got him was the backpack. I mean, instruction-wise, this is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this weird winged pack, which I personally don't like. And you have the Bruticus head over here. But to be honest, it's still better than what Hotspot has, but on Hotspot it kind of works a bit more, because if you want him to have an action pose, you can basically extend the ladder and have him hold it over his shoulder. But with Onslaught, what you can do is very simple. I mean, even the instructions show it. You can take the guns and plug it back here. But still, they seem to be a bit more straight. A bit too straight for my liking. So what I do is basically this. This section over here, this crotch plate of Bruticus tabs into his chest plate. So you just untap that and let it there. Let it just sit there. Don't peg it in. Just let it be there. And then you sneak the wings underneath, just like that, and put the cannons over it, and you will see that this section kind of hooks over the crotch wings right here, and it sits more on an angle, which actually works better for Onslaught over here, so you can bring the cannons up. But one problem would be on the head, and this is a mod that I've done because I really wanted Hotspot to have head articulation, better head articulation. Now most people would assume that his head is on a hinge because it only moves side to side, and it's on a platform that moves down. But the inside of the head is actually a ball joint. I'm just gonna pop his head off real quick, and as you can see, underneath he has a ball joint. Now you're wondering, and why doesn't it go up? The back of the head, the nape of Onslaught was actually covered with an extra amount of plastic, and yeah, that was intentional, but it didn't go well. It stopped Onslaught from having upward head articulation. So what I did is actually pop out the head, as you just seen. The halves of the head actually just tab together. I mean, you have those two tabs here and a big port over there. And what I did was actually take a sharp cutting tool and I cut off the excess over here in this shape, because it was a tab right there, you know, like how you'd see on the biceps right here. And I cut until I reached that part, and then I took a file, which I don't know where I put it, and I sanded down those corners over there so they would be more circular to allow more head movement. And now, because of that, you can give Onslaught the head articulation that he needed to have in the first place. So just to show you guys, this is the difference. This is what poses you can do with Onslaught now that he has head articulation. Tell me that doesn't look cool. He looks massive, he looks menacing, but there's still something missing about Onslaught, don't you think? He doesn't have his rifle. Onslaught is known for having two big guns on his back, which gives him the iconic look, and he also had the rifle. Now, remember Transformers Prime RID-RC, the deluxe, the one with the big giant cannon, which was longer than her leg actually. I basically took the gun and gave it to Onslaught, and it works perfectly for Onslaught. It looks like he has a rifle. That's basically what Onslaught had, a rifle. And here we have a complete Combined Wars Onslaught. This is what we should have gotten, not the poor excuse that Hasbro did. The figure isn't bad by any means, but I think that those mods improved him tenfold. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you want more mods, let me know. Well, I'm actually gonna do more mods because I've done a lot more mods, and I feel the need to showcase it with the community, because I think the community would benefit a lot from this. Now, there are also two more channels that I want to recommend, because they've inspired me to start this channel as well. So I'll recommend my friend Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer, which in turn introduced me indirectly to Camzilla51, which is another great reviewer that does mods as well as the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer. Both of them do great reviews and great mods as well. So please check them out. I know that I'm a small channel right now, so there probably won't be many of you that would actually want to check their channels out, but the number doesn't matter. Just check them out, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. Powerglide out.